was that? Okay, this is Leon Death Dealer recording a little bit of Ark Survival Evolved, and I've decided that I will do a little intro tutorial for YouTube to show people how to exactly to start this game. So we are actually playing on a new server on the on Skull Island Ark server made by my buddy. Well, made by him. I actually maintain it myself. So now this is interesting. So just a fair warning, our settings are a lot different from anything you would find on a actual public server. Of course, first things first, I do have to acquire thatch and wood and go hunting for a little stone so I can make myself my first tool, which would be under weapons, and there is something over there, some kind of little dragon bud. You can see him actually through the transparency of your menu. Not really sure if he's hostile or not, and I really don't want to go find out. At least not until I have a little bit of a, well, at least a hide bag set up so I can get some proper gear going. Of course, shift, it's your standard, pretty much your standard game. You know, WASD, shift makes you run, space will make you jump. Been playing this game for about, I've got I believe over 800 hours into it. Maybe less, maybe like 700 and something. So I've been playing this game for a little while. Of course, Ragnarok is a new map. I actually haven't explored it very well, as you could tell by the mini map in the crafting in the creation menu. Now I'm having some issues finding a rock that I can actually hit, which is a little frustrating. There we go. Now I found one. You know, so you hit it till it breaks. Of course, you need stone and flint and all the good stuff out of them. I'm actually going to go get myself another piece of wood so I can make me a hatchet here in a moment. Now, when we first began, of course, completely bare. It seems I've actually gained quite a number of levels because, well, we again have the settings way up there, so we don't have to fight nearly as hard in the beginning to get things done. In most servers, you'll only get 1 point per, or you'll only get a 10 per tick. We get 4 times that, so yeah, that's for pretty much all our settings, except for oxygen. Apparently it's at an 8. I don't remember what weight was, but I believe it's also 4 because you get 20 every tick. Is that right? No. Maybe it's maybe you only get 10. I can't really remember off the top of my head. We'll do some movement speed. I know that one's excessively high, but that's because we have some people who rather enjoy running, and personally, I don't like having to deal with critters chasing me down. Of course, we're running a lot of mods. We've got S+, as you can see here. We've got a kibble vending machine, this and that. Again, for simplicity's sake, I run AA as well, Ark Automated, so everyone knows, as well as the upgrade station. I didn't know they put a manual in there. That's interesting. Well, right now we're just going to do our basics that we need to learn: campfire, hatchet, spear, you know, things like that. We're running a reusable mod because, well, it is a pain to have to rebuild every single thing. We'll go ahead and get some of these learned, although I do need hide for about 4 of these items in this list. And we will go on to learn our the basics of structure, so that I can actually put a structure down. For this tutorial, of course, I will be using your base items. I won't be using the S+, but later on I probably will, just because it is more convenient. You can pick things up and put them down as you need to. We will avoid, bolt tools. Another mod, very useful mod, narcotics. Probably needs to actually come out of there. I don't use it very often. It's only useful in the very beginning, where you have some trouble making things that will take critters down. Simple bed. Now, of course, you'll need a simple bed to have a respawn point, and you always need a respawn point in this game, unless you're playing hardcore, which, again, we don't. I don't see the fun in having to restart every time. It probably would become very tedious. So we tend to avoid that. We enjoy our ability to respawn into our bases and so on and so forth, and not have to completely start the leveling process again. Not that it would be overly difficult. It would be more the selecting all the things we've picked. Now, of course, I've noticed that, like on Ragnarok, you can pick up these guys. Can I get the stick? I can get the stick, and it actually gives you resources. Which, again, would be the first time I'm playing Ragnarok. Not 100% sure on everything. So, but the basics are the basics are the basics. It doesn't matter where you are. You'll need berries, and you'll need a horse. You'll need grass. Well, you'll get berries from bushes. You'll get fiber from bushes, which fiber will make your, let's go on our crafting, will make most of your very basic armor, as well as it helps make your beginning structures. Thatch, mostly. What? Oh, it looks like it's just S+ in there. There it is, structures. Thatch. We'll make 4 foundations. I believe I need 16 walls. I can craft that amount, which again, I rather enjoy having the ability to do this. One of those, and then we will craft the rest in ceilings. I wonder what I'll run out of first. Probably thatch, honestly. So, the next thing we need to craft after we get done with that is we actually need to craft up our axe, so that when I decide to go into wood, I will have that available. Although I'm going to craft myself some cloth armor. Again, okay, I need 10 fiber for this, 50 fiber for that. I need to wait a moment. Getting a little ahead of myself. Games now got a locked crafting speed, which I honestly do not like. Well, no, because apparently your crafting skill increases your crafting speed. That's interesting. Okay, so I gotta remember that one. Bear in mind, melee damage does increase how much you harvest per hit. You would want that high in certain situations, such as like survival of the fittest, when you can hit a stone and get several back. Where on a PvE server, you wouldn't need it as high. I mean, it helps, and you will be fighting your critters, so every little bit helps. It's just, I heard something. Let's hope it's nothing aggressive. Nope, it is a Pelagornis, the water bird. 120. I think if I hit him, he'll run. Let's find out. Yeah, he ran away. He's gonna run away. Darn it. I need hide now. So, unfortunately, Mr. Horsey is going to have to perish to give me my hide. Here, horsey. Oh, wow, 330. I'm not going to poke that, because it's asking for... What the math are these? Are they harvestable? Holy crap, that's harvestable. But they give you spoiled meat. That's interesting. But since I just realized that I don't have an axe, let's finish our armor real fast. While I have it here. So the next thing you usually need is your axe. Very useful here. So we'll go into our inventory. We will throw a hatchet into that. We will cover our feet because feet covering is always a good plan. Now we're gonna hit this guy and see how much stuff we can get out of him. It looks like they give you excessive amounts of blood. That was just weird. Okay, well, I'm not gonna bother with him just. They're everywhere. What is up with this? Is this some feature of Ragnarok that I do not know? Because I've never seen this before. But I'm still wondering what rocks I can hit. Apparently not that one. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, here's an interesting discovery. And actually, a little bit before we actually need it. But this is what they call a metal rock. Of course, you hit one of these. Yeah, it's only going to be stone right now because I'm using a stone hatchet. But every time you hit rocks, you got a little bit of chance. Oh wait, I need to switch to the pick, of course, because if you hit stone with a hatchet, it gives you rock. I've never understood that one. But as you can see, as I hit it with a pick, it actually gives me a decent amount of metal. I've got 75 with that stone. I completely, I'm so used to certain mods that sometimes I forget that I have to switch between the two. I'm actually trying to figure out a good place to set up. Which, actually, that hill looks rather inviting. We'll go investigate and see if there's actually anything there that will eat me. But, with the grab of that, I guess, beach critter, I want to say it's a Lichtysaurus? Ledosaurus? I'm not really sure. But with that, it gave me the ability to get high without having to kill something. Oh, what's this? So there's a little dock here, and it's raining. Well, okay. Again, something you gotta worry about is rain, because it makes you cold really fast. And yeah, this looks like a good location to start building. Now, I've of course did the first problem of Ark. I don't have any food yet. So if you put berries in your taskbar and then hold the appropriate button for the task slot, you will consume them at a rather fast rate. Of course, it only works with berries. Meat actually has a cooldown timer now, which when I first started playing it did not, which is a little frustrating. Now, I only built 3 ceilings, so I will need a 4th. Let's see if we can do that real fast. Okay, so I now have 4 ceilings, 4 foundations, 16 walls, a door frame, and a door. We're going to build ourselves a very basic structure. Now, first things first, clear the area, because finding flat area in Ark is a pain. A massive pain. This seems flat enough. I'll put away my pick and start actually collecting all this stuff by hand, so it gets it out of my way. Of course, I don't remember our server settings, honestly, so this stuff might actually respawn under my base, which is slightly frustrating. I've had it happen before. It's a pain. You'll be running around trying to open something and suddenly your character grabs rocks. You're like, where did those come from? Oh, okay. So if we hit 3, it'll let us put it down. Actually gives you an option to rotate it. Once you have the first one set, you can just attach the others. Of course, if you noticed when I went to put the 3rd one, I accidentally hit the button twice, and what that will do is it will take the structure you're trying to build away. It won't use it, so you actually have to hit the right mouse button. No, left mouse button. Yeah, you click. Anyway, as again you've seen, I hit 0. If I hit and hold 0, it will auto consume all the food in that inventory slot. Again, with meat, it will, but it's a lot slower. It has to wait for the cooldown, which I just don't like at all. I think you should have a setting in PvP and PvE, which actually our server is PvP, so I guess I should shut up. But I think you should have a setting to put that cooldown away. And I actually built one wall too many, which is fine. You'll as you build, you'll realize that sometimes you overbuild and sometimes you underbuild, and like I said, I've got hundreds of hours and I still overbuild all the time. And also, whenever you have not that button, not that button. Was it I? Yeah. When you have a empty slot in your inventory, if you hit the button again, it will build it. So when you're done building, I advise taking all the items out, which I need a box. Let's do a box. Also, you can search for anything. And let's say you have one item you need to place. Instead of putting it on your taskbar, which I've seen some YouTubers do, you can actually just hit cursor over it, hit E, and it'll automatically come in, put it out. Again, these are little tips and tricks. Make sure you can do what you need to. Oh, and also, I believe T is your best friend when it comes to moving inventory, because it'll move one stack completely over. So T and T and T and T and T and a T again. But alright, now I'll keep what I need, which I don't need the metal. I believe I need that, and these are just a pain. I hate the fact that we got all this crap in here. Which, oh yeah, there it is. Wait, it's a stylish now? Oh, that ain't cool. I'd rather have the Parasaur Founder one, considering that I've been playing this game forever and a half. Oh, anyway, so next things next. We need to go into our engrams, which these are called your engrams. Easy way to do it, especially now that they have new interface. I just select island and I select unlearned engrams, and I just kind of scroll down to where I need to go. Of course, you have a mouse wheel. It makes this a lot easier. I'm not going to learn everything, mostly because right now it's just a tutorial and I'm trying to go through just your average items rather than a bunch of the modded stuff like cooking pot and the big thing I think I can learn right now, maybe of course, is the bow. Bow will be very useful. Don't need that. I'm tired already. But I can start learning into wood and actually have a wooden structure. The big thing with wood is the big thing with any of these constructions is when you go to replace it, you can just build over it. You don't actually have to take down the whole structure and rebuild. I will demonstrate in a moment as soon as I find what I'm looking for. Ore drums, yeah, definitely gonna put one of those in later. Trapdoor. Okay, let's see. Nope, there's hide. Always a useful upgrade. Gunpowder, no. Why can I never find what I'm looking for? I mean, I could go searching for it, which I think I will, just so I do not waste any more time. Refine. There it is. Refining forge, and of course we'll go ahead and learn that. We'll not be building one, but now, so I can go refine. Excuse me. That one actually hurt a little. Okay, gonna go ahead and build this, and we're actually gonna place it and get some metal production. Not that I can make a smithy yet. Well, I bet I could. There it is. So, Now, beauty with a refining forge. You can use thatch, wood. If I had it, spark powder, which is flint and stone. I'm going to go ahead and use thatch because I just need to get it burning. I do not remember the timer, but there is a timer for it. I heard something outside my base which had me slightly worried. I don't know. Now, of course, a quick and easy way to die is to go playing in the water at the moment. Well, not really, but well, we will demonstrate for the moment because should be something nasty, probably right about here. Oh, interesting. There's nothing. That's... Anyway, this is kind of cool. They put a dock in Ragnarok. Of course, you cannot jump up to the little guy. But enough playing in the water. We are going to... fucking English today. That would be nice. Okay, so this hopefully is hittable. Hey, it is. This is a river rock. River rocks are one of your best friends when you cannot find a metal node. They usually give decent quantities of metal. Of course, these are getting kind of pathetic, but for our rates, that is actually a really pathetic amount of metal. There we go. There's 6. In just like 2 hits. Another 6. There we go. There we go. So these guys are giving me a little bit of metal. More flint than anything else, but I'll take what I can get. And of course, you don't be too discouraged if you feel like you can't hit it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. See, these are your normal rocks. These give me, well, I guess it's giving me a bit of metal. I guess it might have been a river rock. Doesn't look like the other rocks though. They're kind of shiny. This one's kind of dull. Wait, oh. And also, with your basic tools, if you hit their corresponding key, it will repair it automatically for you. If you have the resources available. If you don't, you're a soil. So, I'm going to sit here and hit some rocks, actually. I'm going to run into my house and put this metal I have acquired into the forge. I've got 6 metal ingots. That is actually enough to make a smithy. Oh, I guess I haven't learned the smithy yet. We're going to just look it up because it's easier that way. Of course, there are several smithies. I am again running a mod, so we're going to go with your basic smithy. Nothing too fancy. Again, tutorial. Want to show off basic items, nothing in the mods. Because, well, we don't need the mods yet. So, now, I will need to go into, again, Engrams. You will be doing this a lot. At first, on a big server, you probably could get away with learning all the Engrams in an order, but I am trying to be efficient with my time and just pick and choose what I need at the time versus going through and learning them all, because that is very time consuming. Oh, it is so time consuming. So I have enough metal to make 1 metal pick. Again, massively useful, great improvement. Let's see. And as you saw, my pick came back up because this fact that it is highlighted means that it is still in my hand whenever I will do that. So if I just hit Q, Q will put any item you have down into your inventory or back into its slot. And of course you can hit the corresponding number to bring said item back into your main hand. Of course, the metal pick will give you more resources per hit. I need to wait till I got till I have a metal node to really show you the metal it can get when you hit the mud. I swear I can English. I swear. When you hit the metal nodes with the proper tool, it is actually rather impressive how much metal you can get out of those things. Of course, it won't beat your dinosaurs. Most of the dinosaurs have very, very high harvest rates. But, again, this is for when you are just beginning. Like I said, your objective should be metal. Metal tools, your sickle, your hatchet, and if you can, the metal armor. Personally, I don't use the metal armor. I like to use a ghillie suit constantly, which most of my tribe makes fun of me for. But, of course, when they need somebody in a ghillie suit, they immediately look my way. Now, it is getting dark, and on the official servers, there is something you cannot do. There is a command you can actually punch into with the command console, and it will increase your gamma rate. Of course, that's Diplo. Okay. On official servers, that's not possible if it's PvP. To access the command console, it is tab, which I have honestly never played on a official server, so I couldn't tell you if you can get away with it on PvP, or not PvP. I know you can't because it's actually a setting I had to go in and adjust. But damn it, I need to stop saying that. We're gonna throw this extra metal in here. Take these 8 ingots, which, by the way, it takes 2 metal to make 1 ingot. And I want to say it's about 30 seconds an ingot. I'm not really sure. Of course, I need 18 to make that. That went up considerably. Anyway, something you can do with these is you can actually... Where is it? Is it in here? Okay, different game. What I would do with these normally is I store them until I get the more advanced base built, and then I proceed to use a grinder on them and return any resources I may have used in them to my possession. Not that it really matters with those guys, because they're cheap. Some people like to keep them around in case they're running around and their metal pick breaks. Then they just kind of, oh, hey, look, I've got this. This will work for what I was in the middle of. And then, just run back when they're done and get their metal one repaired. Of course, now I was able to find a metal node, and you can see how much metal that first one gained me. That's good over, almost 300 metal per node. Of course, my rates are much higher than normal. I believe the average node will get you about 60 total. Galley minus. Of course, my character is cold for some reason, which, I've got 32 fortitude, so let's make that 104. Down from freezing to death to I'm just a little chilly. Of course, there it is. I was about to say I have promptly lost my house because I'm notoriously good at that one. Oh, I have no more berries. Okay. So I'm going to run to back, get me some berries, eat them, which, again, I'm not going very far from my home. Oh. But I do try to go as far as I can quickly and come back, because there's a lot of back and forth in this game. It's not terrible, but it can get really tedious after a while. Also, something I've always found amusing about Thatch is the door looks identical to the rest of it. So when approaching from the side or anything, like at an odd angle, you'll notice that it is very difficult to freaking see that door. Of course, if you come from this side, you'll see the door every time because you'll see the inside of it, and it looks different than the rest of the structure. Which, actually, if I close the door, so. I mean, at distance is difficult. It also may be my graphical settings at the moment. They may be a little low. Which that unfortunately happens. Why do I keep pushing escape? So, now, I told you, told everyone I was going to show how to upgrade a structure. So, I'm going to go collect little wood. I know I have some in my box, but I like to have more than what I need at any one given time. If there's any wood in the, local area. Which, unfortunately, I still need wood to make stone. So, there we go. There's a tree. Ugh. I understand that, and yet I don't. But, again, hatchet gets you wood. Pick gets you thatch. You hit a stone. Hatchet will get you more stone than anything else. A pick will get you more flint, which you need flint for gunpowder in this game. Oh, out of stamina already. Jeez. And I'm starving again. Okay. We will go ahead and eat all these little berries. Not the narcos. Crap. I keep eating the narcotics. Okay. So, I've made a very dangerous folly here. The narco berries that were next to, I believe, I don't remember the other ones. Azura? The little blueberries. I accidentally ate them. Now, you can see right here, I have what they call torpidity rising. When this hits 50, I will pass out. Of course, to counteract that effect, I can eat stem berries, which, if eaten, can be eaten in a pinch to recover food, stamina, and lose torpidity. They will dehydrate you. Of course, if I eat all those, my torpidity will drop, but I will have to make a beeline for water. And it looks like I may pass out and die if I'm not careful. You will see on the right hand side, there pops up a hand. There pops up a little hand when I'm near something to harvest by hand, such as this berry bush. Underneath that, where you cannot see it at the moment, what was this? Oh, it's a baby Bronc. It's a baby Bronto. Wow, you're actually kind of impressive, okay. But underneath that is a torpidity monitor, and it'll actually start to slowly fill as it raises higher. Of course, again, I'm running, so it is eating my stamina, which is eating through my water. Should be drinking through my water, I guess. But you can either walk up to the water and hit E, and you will take a big old drink, or you can actually go for a little swim, which I don't know on that one. I guess it's absorbed through your skin, but again, it's salt water. At least I would think so. Yeah, there's megalodons and other types of fish living in it. Of course, you can find some, I would assume, are freshwater fish in the salt water. So, yeah. And we're not going to go for any kind of actual logic here. Okay, so I have my necessary... looks like somebody broke his leg. But I have the necessary ingredients. So I'm going to hit this rock a couple dozen times. Yeah. Oh, that broke pretty quick. That gave me 385 stone. I'm going to come hit this rock a few times. 262. Now, I have wood, and I have fiber, and I have thatch. So, we will hit V. We will go into our Ingram menu. Yeah, wordy words are eluding me today. Should have probably taken a nap, honestly. And I will type in stone. because we're going to go ahead and upgrade not to wood, but we're going to go a step further and actually go into stone itself, which I'm actually going to use a bit of S plus rather than the normal of not, because the door frames that they have in S plus, I rather enjoy them. So we will go ahead and learn ourselves a reinforced wooden door and then a reinforced double door, and then go V, and we can actually just back out, and I believe it is in, nope, oh, there it is, it's a little tab, and we will go ahead and do 15 stone walls. We will do 4 of these. We will do a single one of these and a single one of these. Now we gotta see what we need to make our lovely ceiling. We need more thatch. I can craft 1, but that's it. So actually, nope, I don't have enough. I might have enough for all 4, but we're actually just gonna go running, and we're gonna go find ourselves a tree, so I can show the difference between hitting it with the hatchet and hitting it with the pickaxe. Of course, I might need to find 2 trees as fast as I murder the trees. Okay, that's Galley Minus. So one of the big things you actually have to worry about is critters, whether or not they are predators or if they are herbivores. Of course, this guy right here, while he looks like he should be a predator, he is really actually just a herbivore. I don't want to assume anybody doesn't know, but herbivore eats plants and carnivore eats meat. So yeah, predator, prey. Now, when I hit the tree with the hatchet, I've got 385 wood and a little bit of thatch. Now, if I hit it with a pick, I get 230 thatch and 30 wood. Again, you want to hit, depending on what resource you need, you got to hit your, oh, I'm over encumbered. Okay, so actually I can fix that. I can go into this and give myself a little more weight. Of course, again, we have alarmingly high rates, and because we just don't have the time necessary to devote to running around back and forth and, you know, collecting all this by hand and just fighting with it that way. You know, a lot of us have other things we do daily. You know, of course, I've noticed I've been rather talkative throughout this whole thing, and hopefully it makes it a little more entertaining. I know I went quiet there for a moment because I was thinking about something, but now that we've made it back to our little thatch hut, we're going to go into our inventory by pressing I. We will set our foundation, our walls, our door frame, our door, and then our ceiling. Okay, now we will set, oh, no. So, something interesting about S Plus, because I messed up with S Plus, I can actually pick it up, which with a normal floor, you just have to demolish it. So, let's see if we can do this again. And ta-da! Replaced. Now, you don't get any resources back that way, but usually at this point you don't really need them back. I mean, yeah. You're pretty much beyond this for the most part. I get the feeling like something here is not placing right. Ow. Okay. So, we'll go ahead, and again, we'll use our little trick to put into queue some of my ceilings, so I have those ready to go. We'll go back to placing walls. There we go. I don't get why I was doing that, but so then we can replace this, and then we'll hit a 5, and we'll set it right there and replace that. And then with a 6, I get double doors. Now, a little tip or trick. Now, bear in mind, this is a basic structure. I mean, it's a 4x4, 3 high. Well, I guess 2 high wall-wise, which you'll want most of your structures to be at least 2 tall for the first floor, because a lot of your items won't fit right. Of course, when you get later on, you'll have vaults and such. Vaults, I believe, the standard vault is 3 high. Your what is that thing? Some of your tech stuff is taller. Actually, I believe your tech replicator is like 5, 6 tall, because I had a structure built in a previous game that was 4 tall, and it was still sticking out the top. So I believe it is 5 tall. I'm really notorious about my aesthetics. I don't like things sticking out. I don't like things I don't like things out of place. Of course, something I haven't built yet, which I do need to build, which I've actually ran out of room, is a bed. I do not have a bed yet. Beds allow for respawn, and you will need hides in my smithy. But you'll need, what does it say? Bed. You'll need fiber, hide, thatch, and wood. Again, simple things to get. If you hit Shift T, you will take approximately half a stack, which is useful. We're actually just going to set it right here in the middle of the structure, so that when my tribe decides to come over here, I can just tell them, invite them. They can remove themselves and then respawn here. Of course, there is a 5-minute cooldown per respawn. Per use of said bed. So we'll have to put more down when everybody gets on, unless they get on individually, and then I may just tame you a Pteranodon. Now, this was the basics of building a bed. Not building a bed. I'm building a base in Ark Survival Evolved. Things to remember. Basically watch your surroundings. Getting snuck up upon by a hungry dinosaur is never fun. And chances are you'll respawn in a new area and might not get a chance to get your resources back, which is a bit of a grind. It makes it more difficult to do anything when you have to worry about what area you're spawning in. Use your minimap to your advantage. Of course, I didn't this time, but your minimap, if you hit the M key, pull up a minimap, it will. Ours is set where we can actually see where we are. So that's really useful. Upping your resource stats is useful. Food and water, it means you don't have to go back or find food as often. I didn't build a campfire this time because I didn't have to kill an animal to get my meat or get my hide. I already had it available, so I just kind of avoided that step for the moment. But in most games, building a campfire rather quickly is very nice. And of course, try to, depending on what kind of server you're playing, at first I always try to pick myself a big open spot to build, especially if I think my buddies will be joining me. That way I can go, pull up my little map. I'm at 2070 roughly. You come there, you should be able to see the little building I've made. And in most games, hey, he whistled. Most games, you can either set it to have a pin code, which is what I normally do. I'm not actually going to set in my stereotypical pin code because I use it for a lot of things. Anyway, but like I set mine now to open or unlocked. So now it says double door unlocked. Basically means anybody can get in. And usually we use that to our advantage. And we'll either set pins or we'll unlock the door so the rest of our guys can get in. And when everybody's on, then we decide, who will be tribe leader, who will do this, who will do that. The only problem is you will need boxes or more stores than what I put in here. And honestly, like I said, this is a basic start. This is just enough that, I've got about an hour. I'm going to get on a server. I'm going to build me something. And then I'm going to, I gotta log out. Again, these little boxes, great idea to hide them here and there. If I remember right, you can put them on the ground. We'll try with the regular storage box first. Okay, so here's a regular storage box. Which, yes, you can just put them on the ground. So, I mean, it's never a bad idea to, find yourself a little spot. Do you think, it's kind of out of the way? And done on a box. Throw a spare pickaxe and, hatchet in there and run, then leave it. You never know when you'll find a spare box just sitting on the beach. Be like, oh, what's that? Go raid it. And of course, I believe, you can set a pin code, and it'll make it more difficult to get into. I believe you destroy it, it will destroy everything in there, although we can test it. Yeah, let's throw these in there. We will throw some seeds in there, and we will find out. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Smack, 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 smack. Come on, break. Oh, nope. It throws it out. Okay. So, again, hiding a little box. I actually believe you can put these underwater if you want to be that. Yeah, see. Like, since I'm building here, a little idea would be to actually put a box here. So let's see if we can do it with the standard box. Of course, people are liable to discover them if they go to build and they can't. It's saying it's oh, nope, there it goes. It was clear for a moment. Of course, I gotta make sure there's no fishies trying to eat me. But, it said I could for a moment, and it said it was obstructed. And it keeps saying it's obstructed. Still obstructed. Still obstructed. Still obstructed. Oh, nope. See, like, these little structures you can actually build a box on. And you could essentially have a hidden cache of weapons or tools, saddles, resources. Personally, I would probably hide a second smithy, second refinery. Well, I say second. It should be like 4th or 5th or 7th. Some ungodly number. Because you never know. when your base will get raided in this game. They've played with the offline protection. I personally don't use it myself, because if you come into my server and blow everything I own up, I'm just gonna kind of be like, okay, I'll respawn and rebuild. To me, that's kind of that's really fun. I love that aspect. That if I leave my server running, there's a chance that raiders come along and just kind of like, oh, cool, free base, boom, boom. You know, of course, on the island, I would feel sorry because I usually set up in Hidden Lake, and I usually have a critter for running around on Wonder inside of walls. So yeah, good luck with that one. I mean, they're nothing impressive. 500, level 500, 600 T-Rexes. Did have a 1300 Spino. That one was fun. But I think I've covered the basics. I know that like a few minutes ago I was doing a wrap up, but discovered something that needed to be shared. So again, hiding boxes everywhere. Not a bad plan up until somebody tries to build near them and they can't. So your best bet's probably to do them out of the way, but not too numerous, unless you don't mind people raiding them to make their own bases. Again, hide things in them. Foundations, walls, ceilings, forges, small supplies of metal, ingots, gunpowder, pretty much anything you think you could use when restarting your base. Smithy, personally, I hide random things in mine, things especially I don't want other players to find. Set up different storage areas. But that pretty much wraps up this episode. In my next episode, I will be trying to tame something. Look forward to seeing you there. Leon Death Dealer out.